Hi, I'm Daniel Fisher here at Sweetwater Sound, and today I'm really excited to show you the Elektron Digitone Keys. And normally I don't do the Elektron stuff, but there was a box outside my office last night, very exciting, and I have this prototype. And why did I get it? Because it has keys this time, obviously. So I am a stranger to the family of Elektron instruments, and I will be learning as we go. I don't have an owner's manual yet, and this is still prototype software, but I really like the sound of it. And the other thing is that it's FM, frequency modulation, and that is one of my fields of expertise. Why? Because in 1984, I got a DX7, and it was actually the first instrument that I made a living programming sounds with. So I do get, one, that FM is very exciting sound-wise and can do things something else can't do, but I also get that a lot of people are afraid of FM, or they just don't want to dig into it, or it's far beyond their understanding. But Elektron has made all of this a lot more accessible by putting the various FM parameters right here on knobs where you can play them, where you can reach them. And to kind of bring it back to the world you might understand already, they added a filter after it and a cutoff and a resonance knob there. So it's kind of like FM that then goes into subtractive synthesis, and it's a really good mix. And I have to say, as I'm playing through some of the patterns and stuff, the way that the sounds mix into this is phenomenal. And I know people say, FM, it's that 80s electric piano sound that I hate, or it's that fake harmonica sound that I hate, or it's that lately bass sound that got overused. Well, the reason all of those sounds got overused is they were actually great sounds until they got overused, but there's so much more that FM can do, and you can get to it just by experimenting with the knobs. And you have 8 voices of that, and each voice can have 4 operators, in other words, 4 modulators or carriers, and you can adjust them into any order you want via the algorithm knob. But then it has the Elektron sequencer, which I'll confess, I don't know yet. So those of you who are already deep into this universe are going to go, he missed this, he missed that. Yeah, I get it. This is just a, hey, let me show you it video. And then I will do a deep dive once I learn this thing. And I'm going to put the time into it because I really do enjoy it. The keyboard is velocity sensitive. It has aftertouch. There are lots of audio outs. You have left and right outs for track 1, track 2, track 3, and track 4 separately, as well as stereo audio ins. You got headphone out, you got main outs. This thing has effects, really nice chorus, delays, and reverb. And yes, the delay will do ping pong. All of that can be locked to clock. You also have 4 tracks of MIDI that can go somewhere else. So if you're going to your modular rig or other keyboard rigs, this can be like your master controller for sequences and stuff. You've also got pitch wheel, mod wheel, the ability to disable them, and then probably the finest octave buttons I've ever seen. You can go +3, -3, and if you hit it one more time, you can actually go +4, -4. What does that mean? That means that from this keyboard, you can go to anything that accepts MIDI and get to the very lowest possible note and the very possible highest note. So I really do appreciate that a lot. Everything's right on the front. The screen's easy to read. And so the first thing we'll do is we'll dig into some of the preset sounds. And they have banks of 256 and multiple banks of that. And this is not the final sound set or anything, so we're still playing with a prototype thing, but it sounds great already. So you just hit the sound manager button and you can dial in different sounds, one for each track. And you can go in and edit this thing from the front panel. For example, if I hit Synth 1, it's page 1 of the synthesizer, and basically you can see, like you see in most FM synths, I have these different blocks. Vertical ones are modulating the one below it. Horizontal ones are outputs you can hear. And I can change what they call the algorithm, or the position of those blocks. And if you don't know what they do, don't worry about it. Turn a knob until you find one you like. And then you could change the ratio. And what the ratio is the ratio of the modulating frequency against the carrier frequency. And again, I know this sounds complicated, but just turn the knob and you can hear it, you know. And you can also do harmonics, detuning, feedback, which gives you a lot more of a splattery sound because it's taking the modulation and looping it onto itself. You can mix it. And then on page 2, we have envelopes that are used to either modulate the volume of a carrier or modulate the harmonics created by the modulator. And you can set levels there. You can also set them here from the knobs. And then we go to the filter, and you have a multimode filter, like I said, that can be resonant. And you can see the resonant bump here. You can see I can change the cutoff frequency. You could change what kind of filter it is, a high pass, a low pass, 2-pole or 4-pole, how much the envelope affects it. And then up above, you have a standard attack, decay, sustain, release. And then we go to the amp, and then you have a separate ADSR for volume. You also have a drive. Then you have LFOs. You can pick the shape of your LFOs and where they are going to, their destinations. And then there are also, when you press the function button, we have a whole section on chorus, a whole section on delay, a whole section on reverb, master section. And then we have sections where it's just about MIDI, what's coming in, what's going out, what you can filter. It's very powerful. It also has an arpeggiator right on the top. And then it has some very cool things, a mapping of the keyboard where you can choose what each key does, whether it's trigger a pattern or play a chord or send something via MIDI. And it can be different per key, giving you lots and lots of power. You've also got a key hold button. So it's kind of like a sustain pedal, but they also have in the back an expression in and a sustain in. Those can be assignable. There's also unison mode, voicing modes. You can choose how many of the 8 voices are allocated for each of the 4 tracks. Just lots and lots of stuff. And we're going to go all into that much, much deeper once we can do the deep dive into this thing. But for now, I'd just like to play a bunch of patterns and play over it because this thing's really fun. Listen how good the mix is and how good the ambience is and the stereo imaging. This is one of my favorite right out of the box keyboards to play on right now in terms of creating an atmosphere. So let's do it. All right, well, that was just a tiny sliver of the power of this thing. Like I said, we're going to have a deep dive coming, but in the meantime, I just wanted you to see this thing. This is the Elektron Digitone Keys FM synthesizer with 8 voices. And if you have any further questions about this, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. My name is Daniel Fisher. Thank you very much for watching.